Hey guys, welcome to tonight's episode of Saturday Night Strive. Before we begin tonight, I want to take a moment. I know you guys have probably noticed the save the dates. Please, please, please keep us lifted as we are going to start our first Levitical Worshipers Clinic on January the 5th. 2019. We are so, hallelujah, excited about what God is going to do. We have some amazing people of God coming in. I do want you guys to be on the lookout for more information, ways in which you can register. And we're calling all corporate worship leaders, worship teams, music ministries. We just want to take a moment to just pour into God's people. And so we're excited about what God's going to do. So keep us lifted as we go into this season of God pouring into us. So tonight I want us to ponder this question. Are we living what we declare on a weekly basis? It's so easy for, we get to a place where we're studying and we're praying and we are immersing ourselves in God so much so that we're hearing His voice. And then on a weekly basis, we stand before God's people and we pour and we minister and we pour into people's lives, declare into people's lives. You have been set free. God is a miracle worker. He can make ways. He's our provider. He's our healer. You can be healed. You can be set free. You can be delivered. But what happens when the enemy comes in like a flood in our personal lives? Are we taking what we pour into God's people on a weekly basis? And are we living what we declare over them in our lives? It's so easy to allow the enemy to take root in our minds and give us a defeated mentality about this. I feel like all of us have a guilty conscience at some point when it comes to this topic, because how many of us have led worship or whatever position that you hold within, pouring into God's people, you've spoken a word into somebody's life, and then the same or comparable situation has occurred in your life, but you forget to call on God in the same capacity, or if not greater, for your own situation. So, for example, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you've spoken to someone's life about God is going to bless your finances. You shall be the lender and not the borrower. You shall be the head and not the tail. And so let's say 2 weeks later, you get into a financial bind, and everything that you told that person just goes out of your mind. So what happened to us being the lender and not the borrower? What happened to us speaking life into our finances? Are we not able to speak life into our own finances, but only able to speak into the finances of someone else? There are going to be things that go on in our lives. We are never exempt from suffering and trials and tribulations. But I stopped by tonight to tell us, and I'm not excluding myself because I've been guilty of it. I've been guilty of speaking over someone, be anxious for nothing, but in everything, through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, make your request known unto God. And 2 weeks later, something that is beyond my control will have happened, and I will worry. I'm totally guilty. I feel like at some point, in some capacity, we're all guilty of that. But tonight I want us to really become more aware of what flows from our mouths into others, but also what we have in our hearts for ourselves. God is never a respecter of persons. He never has been and never will be. So, the same way that He's able to move in your situation is the same way that He can move in my situation. So, right now, my prayer is that we get to a place that we are living out what we're declaring into the lives of God's people. As He has us on assignment, I pray that we are able to consistently remember that the same power that raised the Lord from the dead is the exact same power that can breathe new life into your personal situations, into your personal struggles, into my personal situations, into my struggles. The same stripes that can heal their bodies that we're declaring and speaking over every week is the same stripes that can heal our bodies when things come upon us, when sickness happens, when suffering happens. God has all power. God still works in every situation. So let us not forget His power. Let us be strong in the Lord and the strength of His might. And remember that as we're on assignment, we have got to live what we're declaring. Call on His name. He's there. He's able. He's willing. He's worthy. And so as we prepare our hearts for worship, and as we live on purpose and as we go beyond familiar, let us not forget to live what we're declaring and speak into our own lives. Love y'all. Mean it.